Let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that we're all friends and getting along. Because the truth is, we're not all going to agree about the best indie games of the decade. There are simply too many of them, and too many are good.
You really are very perceptive.
I know, it's one of my many gifts, along with accents and impeccable night vision.
To capture them all, this list would have to be 850 entries long. And as Pokemon Go taught us, we'd eventually give up and start doom scrolling instead. So, you might not hear the name of your personal fave over the next 10 minutes, but we've highlighted 7 of the very best indie games, and you're guaranteed to have a great time with each and every one of them.
How does that make you feel?
Not very good.
Sorry.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
There are few greater pleasures than plotting your way out of trouble turn by turn, and no game encapsulates that better than Into the Breach. It may be the purest turn-based tactics experience ever made. At the start of a battle, you're handed 3 mechs and asked to face off against giant kaiju monsters. You'll be wrenching them into chasms with ropes or suplexing them into the sea. Thing is, you've also got to protect the civilians cowering in nearby villages. It's not always possible to dispatch the enemy, save your mechs, and preserve civilian life at the same time. But you'll be stretching your brain every turn to try and find a way. And in that creative problem solving, you'll find true tactical magic. Slay the Spire shares a roguelike structure with Into the Breach, and the same compulsive quality that keeps you pushing forward into the next fight. Only here, your weapons are a deck of cards that you add to and perfect as you climb the spire. It's by playing these cards in clever orders and combos that you smash the gremlins, slimes, and cultists in your way. Eventually, you'll get torn apart by a boss, but you'll learn something about it in the process and come back wiser. It's a formula that has inspired a whole copycat genre of roguelike card games, but Slay the Spire is still the pick of the bunch. It's the card in the deck you'll always want to play. Just as clever, but also different, is Disco Elysium.
Give me a moment.
Where Slay the Spire weaves wonders with numbers, Disco Elysium does the same with words.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
It's an old-school RPG that refuses to tell a hero story, instead casting you as a washed-up addict. It's not unusual to wake up with no memory in this genre, but this time it's because you're nursing the worst hangover in history. You'll spend as much time battling with your own brain as you will solving crimes out in the world. Maybe you'll even get into an argument with your own tie. Yep, this game is with an inferior life just as rich and detailed as the city that surrounds you. It's deliciously self-indulgent, and unlike anything else.
Right now I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
For a story-driven masterpiece where the company is outside your own head, try Firewatch. You play Henry, a man who accepts a job as a fire lookout in the Wyoming forest.
But now that you're up, let me quickly get you acquainted with the job.
He's there to escape and be alone, but ends up entangled with the supervisor on the other end of his walkie-talkie.
Well, I'm bored as rocks, so I'll keep you company while you find those girls, huh?
Her name's Delilah, and she's your constant companion. If you find a sleeping bag out in the woods, you can get straight on the blower and find out what Delilah has to say about it.
These girls have a full case of beer left here, a full case.
Well, they're impressive little I guess.
It's a charmingly chill sort of relationship, and Firewatch never loses that focus, even as it becomes a thriller and a manhunt. It's exactly the kind of affecting character story you'd expect from the creative minds behind Telltale's The Walking Dead. And to ensure you'll hear Delilah's voice come through loud and clear, make sure you've grabbed a pair of our Astro A50X wireless gaming headset with Pro G graphing audio drivers that achieve unprecedented clarity and response.
There's some cloth out here. It looks like it was torn from something.
Strange.
I'll keep looking around.
Celeste is another indie game that skillfully explores mental health issues, in particular anxiety and depression. But it's also a breathtaking good time. It's the kind of platformer that pushes you to your limits, challenging you towards greater and greater feats as you climb the mountain of the title. but it's kind with it, never punishing you hard for making a mistake with a harsh checkpoint. Instead, you're greatly encouraged to forgive yourself and keep going. A message that becomes interlinked with Celeste's narrative as you make progress. By the end, you'll be making video clips of your own achievements, amazed by the impossible jumps you've made and the spikes you've dodged. Inside is technically a platformer too, but of a very different sort. You'll move carefully around a gloomy, ruined world, solving puzzles in the environment and avoiding traps or enemies. You control a young boy, but that doesn't stop developer Playdead from animating your deaths in vivid and horrifying ways. In fact, this might be the most beautifully animated game ever made. Every desperate run and fumbled landing is mesmerising, and you're quickly drawn into the strange grey world you're infiltrating. Inside holds its secret close, and you won't fully understand your purpose in the game until the very end. Afterwards though, you'll never be able to forget. Honestly, sometimes we wish we could. If that chilling warning didn't put you off, then perhaps Amnesia the Bunker is the game for you. It's by far the scariest game on this list, and among the most frightening you'll play in your life. Trapped underground in the First World War, your only companion is the monster trying to kill you. It moves in the walls, and only by listening and learning its behaviour will you be able to navigate the bunker without suffering a series of grisly deaths. To make matters worse, you can only save the game by turning on the lamp in the safe room, and there's only one of those. Through its deep stealth systems and simulation, Amnesia really puts your life in your hands, making you truly responsible for finding your own freedom. It takes the stabilisers off, and there's little more terrifying than that. What do you reckon then? Are we still friends? If so, feel free to subscribe and ring the bell. That way, you'll be the first to know when Logitech G drops another video. We'll be back with more great game recommendations. Until then, enjoy living your best indie life.
I'm back at the shale slide. You know, the one that nearly killed me yesterday.
You ready to give it another shot?
Do I seriously have to?
To get down to 5 Mile Creek? Yeah, afraid so.
Ugh.